or fingerprint to unlock your phone? If so, I'd like you to get your phone out and unlock it using one of those methods. And then put your phone away.
Oh my God.
Where does that information go? Historically, surveillance was difficult and expensive. Over the decades, as technology advanced, surveillance became easier and easier. Today, we find ourselves in a world of ubiquitous surveillance, where everything is collected, saved, searched, correlated, and analyzed. Ultimately, we are being watched. After extensive research of government surveillance programs, today I'm going to be talking to you about mass surveillance in China, India, and the US. I want you all to close your eyes. Imagine you're about to cross the street. The light is red. You look to the left, to the right. No cars are coming and you're in a hurry. So why not just cross quickly? I mean, who's watching, right? In China, everyone is. China is a society in which you are rated by the government on your trustworthiness. Your citizen score follows you wherever you go. A high score allows you access to things such as faster internet service or a fast-track visa to Europe. If you make a political post online without a permit, or even question or contradict the government's official narrative on current events, your score decreases. So why does China's government keep track of every move their citizens make? And more importantly, how? I'd like to firstly start with China's most popular ongoing project, the social credit system. This project rewards good behavior with points and punishes bad behavior by deducting them. Why? Why is China's government ranking its citizens? The answer is simple. The system is meant to reinforce trust between citizens, private companies, government entities, as well as establish and complete a social credit system and commend sincerity and punish insincerity, according to the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. The higher your score, the more benefits you get to enjoy. The lower your score, the more privileges you lose, taking into consideration an individual's credit history, behavior, social contribution, and even interpersonal relationships. Positive behaviors can be rewarded with free access to gym facilities, shorter waiting times in hospitals, and higher possibilities in entering prestigious universities. On the other hand, behaviors listed as punishable offenses, including cheating in video games, jaywalking, causing public disturbances, or even walking your dog without a leash, can result in severe consequences. According to the National Public Credit Information Center, obtained by the Associated Press, in 2018, China banned citizens from buying flight tickets 17.5 million times, and barred them from purchasing train tickets 5.5 million times. The report also states that 128 people were banned from traveling due to unpaid taxes. So how does the Chinese authorities obtain all this information? That's where the Golden Shield Project and big data come in. The Golden Shield Project is a database-driven mass surveillance initiative that first rolled out in the early 2000s. Through this database, China has access to every citizen's entities and records. In 2019, researchers working with the Chinese Army developed CCTV cameras embedded with artificial intelligence to track the movements of civilians across the country. The program is able to scan body types and facial features, which is then used to search the database. It is also able to identify a person even if they're in disguise or if their back is faced towards the camera. China plans to have over 600 million of these cameras by the end of this year. Now that I've spoken about most of China's mass surveillance techniques and how they are executed, I'll move on to how India's government implements harsh internet surveillance and censorship. So how many of you use Facebook, Twitter, or Google? In 2009, the Indian government announced that it would start a centralized monitoring system, also known as CMS. What does it do? CMS utilizes powerful algorithms that are capable of sifting through data to identify patterns in users in invasive ways. According to an article by Mura Kotoki, CMS allows the government to listen and tape phone conversations, read emails and text messages, monitor posts on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and track searches on Google. Essentially, every form of electronic communication will be under the Indian government's microscope. The government derived its power to snoop on citizens from the Telegraph and Information Act. The Telegraph Act was passed in 1885 during the colonial times and mandated the interception of communication only on account of public emergency or for public safety. Later, when the Information Technology Act was amended in 2008, it largely mirrored the Telegraph Act. However, it removed the preconditions of public safety and public emergency, which substantially lowered the bar of wiretapping. Given that roughly 73% of India's population uses mobile phones, the central monitoring system can potentially affect 893 million people, more than double the population of the United States. The reason why the Indian government went through these great lengths of widespread surveillance is largely due to the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack, where 300 people were wounded and over 174 were killed. In addition, countless terror attacks have occurred in India over the last 25 years. Now that I've talked about India's implementations of acts that allow for internet surveillance and censorship, I will talk about surveillance in the United States. When entering a website or downloading an app, how many of you accept the terms and conditions without actually having read them? Yeah. Technology is in everything we do, from using our home refrigerator, washer, cellular device, automobile, or computer systems. We give out information that is randomly requested when we walk into a doctor's office, the local liquor store, or when we are using social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, Yahoo, and Google. We're getting access to multiple apps to use our location. What is our government doing with our information? Why should citizens feel the need to cover their computer cameras or very conveniently see ads on their Instagram Explore page after talking about something? In 2013, the whistleblower Edward Snowden disclosed documents revealing an ongoing extensive surveillance of citizens, including the recording of phone calls by the NSA. In the surveillance program, the NSA collects metadata from phone calls and emails, thereby allowing the government to get information about with whom an individual is talking, the duration of the call, telephone numbers, and the geographical location of the time of conversation, without informing or obtaining consent from the actual person. This is not a glitch in the system. This is the system. According to an article by The Guardian, this is done through a tool that the NSA uses called PRISM, which collects private electronic data belonging to users of major services like Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, PayPal, and many others. Our computers and phones are filled with data trackers that send our information to advertising companies where they begin to build complete profiles of us. Unfortunately, there's little to prevent companies from tracking the precise movements of hundreds of millions of Americans and selling copies of that data set to anyone who can pay the price. You are followed 24/7, 365 days a year. With all that said, I hope you have a better understanding of how the government uses surveillance to track civilians on a day-to-day basis. With the development of technology, mass surveillance will continue to grow extensively as years go by. And remember, Big Brother is always watching.